Still working on the plate for the replacement that goes over the fender. Right now the current one's from Ford bolt to the plastic fender, and I'm going to change that. I am going to make a plate that bolts to the fender wall, the inner fender wall, I guess that would be called. Just got a new play toy, and right now I am gonna see how it performs. Got this locked in, got my measurement locked here, and I've got enough room here to cut off a wee bit of this and see kind of how much it's gonna cut out at the end. So my goal is to fucking just see, like, the hole's a certain size on here, but I think it'll probably cut a little wider than that. I'm not really sure.
Isn't that what you call it? How wide the kerf is? That's what it'd be for a saw blade, I believe.
Yeah, I don't even know. That's funny. But yeah, like how, you know.
The cutting surface, how wide the cutting surface is.
Exactly. Like what, yeah, whatever that is. Anyway, here we go. Looks like I moved a little fast there at the end because I was getting burned.
I know.
So they say you can like analyze how well it cut by looking at the grooves and everything. It's gonna be hot as fuck.
Yeah, it got the little warp going.
Let's see here. You know,
It looks pretty clean.
that actually looks like what they're saying about appropriate speed. I could have maybe slowed down, but I would love to cut at that speed. That was pretty quick. Look how much it warped in.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know how hot this is. Wow.
I think the aluminum sucked up most of it.
Yeah, aluminum sucked a lot of heat, and then that's crazy. I can touch it. Okay, so now.
That's hot.
Oh fuck yeah! There's nowhere for that heat to go. Let's see. How would I do this? How would I figure out how much material?
Well, you measured beforehand, right?
I gotta measure that, and yeah, I need another caliper. This is more of a curiosity thing. It's not strictly necessary.
I'm thinking it's going to be just eyeballing from what I saw.
Yeah, so 17.44.
I think it's going to be 3:30 seconds.
You think it'll be 3:30 seconds wide cut?
Yeah. That's my guess. A little over 16th, not quite an eighth.
Like a couple of measurements here. So
For our 0.0472 inch. It's a little less than the 16th.
0.0 what?
472. I believe a 16th, 625. 0625.
Oh, so it's a bit under.
Yeah.
I could count on a 1/16th of an inch and then grind back or whatever.
Yeah.
It's good to know. At this, at this rate, it probably says in that manual what it'll cut out. I know different currents and so.
1/16th of an inch is 0.0625, so it's a little 0.2 of an inch.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah, that's a tenth. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh no, 100ths.
Yeah, 200ths of an inch smaller.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's pretty damn good.
16th of an inch is pretty good. Yeah.
So I need to move a little bit slower, and we'll probably be right at a 1/16th of an inch, which is dope. That's cool.
Yeah,
so.
get a little wider. Probably what you were right here then, huh?
Yep, so now I could just measure up and cut this piece out, and then we'll cut some triangles and get going. Alright, I'm gonna set up for that, and I'm gonna play with my fat, and we'll be back. Alright, cutting out the actual piece of metal, I determined that I needed a 12.5 inch by 15 inch section, so that's basically here, this over from this edge. So, with the offset of this, so here I go. Probably, so I don't know this or not, but probably shouldn't start in the middle and try and cut a hole. is probably going to cut a big hole before I start moving. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
gonna pop one right in the fucking center.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move a little bit past the mark, and then I'll cut over here before I start dragging. But your feet are gonna be full of sparks. I hope
They'll be
you
okay.
I hope you can
I'll
handle it.
survive.
Can you handle it? Can I handle it? Let's see. Here we go. I mean, thanks for holding it. Hey, we could have just measured that. Look how much slower I went. That's looks like bigger than a 1/16 of an inch for sure. Set up for another cut. I find it hard to use a straight edge and an angle grinder at the same time. Like the amount of setup is probably about the same, but the actual cut itself is very nice. I wonder if the current, like when you're cutting, if the current preferences the side of the
I would absolutely think so.
the grounding path. So like once I get towards the end, it probably cuts more deep that way.
I would think
especially
so. Looks pretty fucking straight, bro.
Yeah.
That's clean as shit, actually. That's a nice little machine, buddy. I gotta tell you, the China prime weld's working.
China prime rail, that's right. U.S. company though, right? Or so they
The
think.
U.S. designed.
So everyone thinks. So, okay. The piece we just cut is gonna go right where that metal piece is there. I don't even know if the camera can see. It's essentially going there, but you know, a foot lower down where this black metal piece is here, which is, you know, essentially all of that. So we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna take the load off the fender and we're gonna support it from the side here. So next we'll cut out those triangles. I'm gonna bolt this to the wall so it's up off the fender. Then I'm gonna put all my accessories on it, like the little inline fuel pump that I have. I'm gonna put a tie-in block there, electrical tie block or junction block or whatever you want to call it, in there. And so you saw me cut this piece out. Now I'm going to cut out two 6x6 right angle triangles out of this piece over here, and those will be the supports here that go up to the firewall, and then they'll have a 90 on them where they'll bolt onto the firewall. I don't have a brake in order to bend this stuff, so I might have to try and do it in my vise. Hey bud, how are you? This is our friendly backyard kitty cat. His name is Lucky. And we named him, well, I don't know what the other neighbors name him, but we call him Lucky because we think he was lucky to find us because he's got a pretty sweet life over here. He's got a pool. He's got people constantly in the backyard giving him love. Ego boy. Pretty green-eyed boy. So right now I need to consider whether or not I'm going to leave a little bit of extra room, probably a 1/2 inch for fasteners, so I could bend it over to the wall. Yep, I think that's a pretty good idea. So I think I'll do them 6.5 on one side and 6 on the other. I know this edge here is straight, so that's a 90, so I might use that. I think this one's also a solid 90 as well. Let me check. Yep, you can use this edge. Don't forget your ground plan. That's how it's supposed to be done. Jeez. It's a beautiful edge when you do it right. Cool thing about plasma cutting, a lot of the heat is carried away. It's not quite like welding where you're just putting heat into the material. A lot of it's carried away with the dross that hits the ground. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Alright. Now I just need to make one more of those. Cut into my table. Nice. So we got my piece in here, my triangle that was 6 inches by 7 inches, and I cut off that corner there, and I'm gonna fold this over at a 90, so I have something to bolt through to the fender wall. I think this old dead blow should do the trick. It's about a 90. And there it is. I don't know if you can see it in the camera very well, but it's a pretty good 90. Right, there's one. Comes the other. It ain't perfect, but she'll do. The idea is I'm going to go ahead and tack these off to this plate here and here. And then each one of these is going to have some holes drilled through it right here. So those will be on there, and the whole assembly is going to come in and bolt up to the wall in here. Kind of where everything's in the way here. We're going to remove all this. I'm going to actually have Kelly do some of that, and we're going to label these wires. So this stuff is all on a plastic fender down here that's flexible and not exactly what I want. Eventually there's going to be a turbo there and it'll be a lot more heat, so it won't be the best thing to have that there. At least I think the turbo's on this side, passenger side on a Cummins. Shit, I don't even know. Yeah, it is. Injections on driver's side. Okay, anywho. So I printed out all these little labels here. I got negatives on some of them and positives on the other. Not that it's impossible to figure out or find, it just makes life a little easier in the future for me, because I just don't want to mix anything up and end up with some burnt wiring harness. So this is all positive, everything connected to this terminal. This is a signal from the key for the starter, and what this is it's a solenoid. It's like a pre-solenoid to the actual starter solenoid that's built into the starter. So this handles high current to here, which goes to a beefy solenoid that's down on the starter and turns it on. So this is a signal from the key. When that gets signal, it closes a connection here, and then you send the power down to the other solenoid down there, and it starts the rotates the starter. So but they use this as a tap. I don't know if this is stock or not, but it's used as a tap for all the freaking positive wires. So we're gonna kind of get rid of this mess here, and we're gonna put in this to take all those wires. So we got one for positive wires, and we got another one for negative wires. Positive red, negative black for the wife, because she probably doesn't know that. She might. So
no, I probably didn't.
yeah, now you do. So what we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna label a couple of these, and then I'm gonna have Kelly label the rest of them off camera.
How do you know what you're labeling?
I know that everything coming to this side of the terminal requires positive power and or is positive power from the battery. So everything that goes to this nut or bolt is positive. Like this is the feed that goes to the battery, and everything just taps off to it as if these were connected to the battery directly. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go through and do that to all these wires here, and then I'm gonna have you put a negative on all these wires down here, and anything else that ties into the plate down here. There's a couple more, but
Okay. The
Yep.
plate is negative. The nubby thing is positive.
Yep. I'm gonna kind of show Kelly how to remove this plate and all the devices on it, and get it out of the way, and get this everything over here kind of pushed over. Vacuum warning switch, I suppose, where I think. Oops, didn't mean to drop it. I don't quite understand why it was built like this, but it seems like a lot of extra work. That's stock Ford crap. I think one of these, each of these grounds used to tie off to a device itself, so that vacuum switch probably had a ground. I find it hard to imagine that it didn't supply a ground on the actual connector. So this whole floppy dilder is going to come out. Those are the nuts that tied that off to the fender. Out with the old and in with the new. The plate is longer side to side than it is front to back. It's approximately 12.5 inches, what I got before. I think it'll be mounting approximately right in there somewhere. Which will essentially be like that. And I've already checked this clears as high as these are going to be. And I'll probably pull this out again later and add support to it. It's going to be a little floppy. It's going to want to flop down that way. See how that looks as I close the lid here a little bit. Clears it. Welcome to my dirty bench. We got our centers found. Okay. Get some little scratches there. I don't know if they pick up on camera, but I'm just making little scratches where I know I need to be. So you got a center line and then a cross where it needs to be drilled. Okay, auto punch time. Cool. I'm gonna drill these guys. Got a little carbide bit here. I'm drilling stainless, so I think it'll help at least to start with something I know can handle it. Yeah, that's the one bad thing about stainless. It's hard as fuck to drill. Everything's got to be clean, so I'm going to start by cleaning with an abrasive wheel here and get all the corners that I need to clean up. So I need to clean this surface up and the outsides and a little bit right here, and same goes for these across the bottom. So start by cleaning up the areas around my holes, get rid of any of the burrs that are left there from drilling and grinding. So I came and slotted these holes, the top holes, a little bit so that my tolerances don't need to be perfect when I put the nut certs in the frame of the truck. So We have some clean welding surfaces. I'll hit them with a little bit of acetone as well. Gets to welding. Doesn't need to be pretty. Just structurally halfway sound. And we'll get that welded on right there. I'm gonna try and tack it, not use any gloves. Don't have a good way of holding this, so well, see what it is. I burned a hole, but I got a tack. I'll just come back and fill that in, I suppose. I'm not the world's best welder, especially with stuff like this. It's just all right. So go ahead and get this corner down here. And it looks like I can't. Jesus, how am I gonna do this? Alright, looks like I might have got it. Got this clamp hooked onto this surface here, and then I clamp that to this. Let's see if I can get a tack on it. Oh, I got a tack. Okay. I dipped my tungsten, but oh well. See what I could do down here. Get a better tack. Sweet, got a little fill. It's alright. Oh boy, that looks like shit. Ah, it's just trash. Oh well, I knew this was gonna be hard. Wow. It's all trash. Oh. Oh well. Well, I don't know what to think. Oh, that's the ugliest shit ever. Oh, oh. Okay, I'm just gonna repeat that for the other side, and I gotta get this back side, and yeah, it'll be good. Here's the kind of finished product. Cut this guy down a little shorter to fit in this nook. How do you say sugar, sugar, how you get so fly? Sugar, sugar, how you get so fly? Yeah, so it's stainless, so you gotta, if you don't back shield, you end up with a ton of sugar, and I was just too impatient to do it the right way. I don't want to take that much time trying to make this stuff. This is like an evenings project. It's already turned into 2 evenings project. So it's essentially gonna sit about right meow. And as you can see, it has a little bit of bow to it, so it wants, that's what happens when you heat things up. But anyway, so it flips like that, oh, and then like that. So I need to actually make sure these are parallel when I mount them. So the question now is, I got that one hinge point there. Let's see, make sure the camera can see what's going on here. So, do I want to mount it way up here? Probably, yeah. Obviously make sure my holes are nice and square. I could put it there, or I could let the front of it drop like that. That's more level to the ground, but this doesn't form a 90, so it kind of looks ugly. So I'll probably bring it up until that forms a 90 and do it there. Is that what I wanted? Not so sure. It's square with the vertical. Oh, vertical. Square with that. But it looks kind of. Yeah, actually, the motor sits back like this, and these are. This sits back like that. I guess it's an optical illusion because this part of the truck slopes down. But yeah, it's probably not level with the ground. It doesn't look level with the ground. The backside looks a lot lower, but oh well. Whew, should probably jump in the pool. Okay, so when I come back, we will figure out how to. I'll probably stiffen this up in the future too. I don't know if I talked about that earlier, but it's probably going to need something underneath to give it a little bit more rigidity. But for now, it's there. It's mounted. Eventually, someday, we'll make one for the other side. Yep, looks good. It's going to clear the hinge. Hinge drops down to this area and clears all that. So we are good to go. I am gonna mount all this stuff somewhere. I still don't know what this was for. This guy went out towards here. These are going to be hard to decide where they go. So I think these will have to sit back here somehow. A little big and obnoxious, but I hope they're not super shitty brittle. Don't seem like it. I love how this isn't like filled in solid back here. It's, you know, the way of making shit in China. This couldn't just be a stronger, more solid piece of plastic. It had to be hollowed out on the backside with little standoffs. I'm like wondering, do these fit? Okay, that fits. Great. That fits. That fits. It's a ground. Yeah, that's a ground. But didn't fit, so that's cool. There's this weird ground thing I had. Doesn't fit. Nope, nope, nope. Probably wasn't the best idea. But it's what I got, so I guess I'll just work with it. And I still don't know where I want to mount anything. I really don't like the size of all this either. These were never connected to anything. I don't know exactly what they do. you gotta remember power was all the way up here. So I think all of my powers will make it to somewhere over here. And then I think for grounding other stuff, maybe I'll just stack this off to the side. Except for the accumulator's gonna be in the way there. So let's see here, meow. What shall I do? You're gonna do like a V thing like that. And they can all kind of come off this way. That might be a good decision. Those mounted, and this line out a little more. That's where I had it before. And I'll just put my pump out there on that line, right out at the end. Cool. Let's take it off. Clean it up, put a bunch of holes in her. Lots of little holes to drill. Went and center punched all my holes, and I'm ready to see how well these bits I bought. I just bought a couple of bits. We'll see how good they are. They say China on the side of them, but when I asked the guy, he said they're just as good as the US brand that they were selling right next to him. It just didn't have a metric. Here we go, let's see. Let's start with this guy. Like cut all right. All look pretty good except for that one. I think I'm gonna have to correct that a little bit back. Like a butter. Just gonna come in here and clean up all these holes now. A part of me almost wants to leave those rough because I know the more rough they are, the better the riv nuts will, you know, stay in place. It's a nice smooth bore. The riv nuts have a chance to spin. So, is what it is. We'll see how it works. All right, it's riv nut time. So what I'm doing here is, if I try to take the whole bite at once, I'm trying to squeeze all this together, and your hands aren't really strong there. Hands are much stronger out here, so I'm releasing some of it, bringing it right there so I could get it started. You know when you've reached the end. It says, nope, I don't want to go anymore. Big difference in pressure. There's 1 of 10. I can bolt everything down, but I think before I do that, I'm gonna find a spot to put a ground on here somewhere. I screwed the pooch a little bit. And I didn't film it. So I put all this work in and totally didn't show the finished product. I guess I had planned on it and just never did, and then forgot about it.
According to the timestamps, I think you went riding the next day and forgot to.
Yeah. This is the setup. I had a solenoid, a fuel pump, a vacuum, something or other. Does something with vacuum. Oh, and then I had shut off solenoid here for the fuel pump, and then I had 2 rails for 12 volts. And some other ground connection point stuff here, and then there was a vacuum accumulation which sat there. What else? Yeah, and these caps go on there and there. Anyway, these turned out to be really cheap, and I kind of knew that they wouldn't be a permanent solution, I guess. Maybe I didn't. We'll have to listen to my words that I had about them too. Those are kind of trash, not very good. We'll come up with something better. So I spent time making this, and it's cool, I guess. But it's off the vehicle now, and probably not going to use a lot of the stuff on here. Still probably going to keep it and mount it where it goes on the firewall. Sorry, the fender wall. Yeah, did all that work and ran it for just a little bit, moving it around the neighborhood. Not gonna use most of the stuff on here and going a totally different direction, but you'll get to see all that in the future.
Why aren't we using this stuff on there?
I can't tell the audience.
Well, you can tell me and then I can cut it.
We'll still reuse this. We're gonna use it for actually there's like a 70% chance we're gonna use it, so it'll hold some other supporting hardware for maybe a boost controller or something like that, so we'll see. I don't really know right now, but we gotta do a bunch of other stuff before we get around to putting this back in the truck, like, you know.
They don't know about that yet.
Oh, they don't know about that?
Yeah.
Oh, they're not supposed to know about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we're making good progress. I think some people are going to be excited to see what's happening. Yeah, I can't say much. I hit the top button.
Wonka wonka wonka. Oh, shit.
Oh, you suck so hard.
It fell right off the fucking tip.
Yeah, actually, that was my fault. Sorry, love. She edits a lot of these videos.